You're listening to the QC Step Podcast, a podcast to give you the information and the skills that you need to find a job, keep that job, and become a valuable employee. My name is Corey Finneran, and I am a transition specialist with the STEP program, and welcome to episode number 14 of the QC Step Podcast. On this episode, you'll hear the current job leads, and then I'll speak with you about volunteer and work opportunities that you can take advantage of over your winter break. So let's take a look at this week's job leads. And here are the job openings for the week of December 17th, 2012. These weekly job leads will be posted on Monday mornings at qcstep.com, and you'll find the links to the online applications for some of them. We have a few job leads here for the high school students. Whitey's, they are accepting applications for all of their retail positions, so that would be anything except for the factory that's there in Moline, and you can stop in any of their locations for an application. Steak and Shake in Moline is looking for a dining room server. You can apply in person at Steak and Shake. Sports Fans Pizza, that's in Bettendorf. They're looking for kitchen help, and you can apply in person. And the iWireless Center, they have a lot of positions available right now. You have to be 18 for any of these positions, so probably the seniors that have turned 18. And these positions are ticket seller, maintenance, third shift turnover crew, housekeeping, usher/ticket taker, stagehand, parking attendant, security guard. And you can apply at the iWireless Center Monday through Friday from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m., or you can apply at www.iwirelesscenter.com. And the link is there on our job openings post. It says Job Leads December 27th, 2012. You'll find the link there. And we have one job lead for our graduates, and that is the Dollar General in Port Byron. And they're looking for a sales associate, and you have to be able to run a cash register for that, and you have to have your high school diploma. All of you will be off school for the next few weeks, and while you could sit around, play video games, maybe go shopping, hang out with your friends, it's also a great opportunity to try to get some work experience, which will be really helpful if you're thinking about getting a job in the second semester or next summer. Many of you have applied with lots of businesses and you haven't been offered a position yet, and maybe you don't have the work experience to put in that job history section of the application. And that's really hurting your chances at getting a job. Or maybe you're not 16 yet and you realize that there aren't a lot of businesses that hire people that are under the age of 16. So these few weeks off of school would be a great opportunity to get some work experience, either paid or volunteer. So let's start with volunteer work. We've been talking about it the last few weeks on the podcast. And I think that a lot of students kind of dismiss volunteer work. Who wants to work when you're not getting paid for it? I think some people look at it that way. But actually, when you're looking at work experience for your application or your resume, volunteer work can be just as valuable or even more valuable than working a regular job. With volunteer work, you have responsibilities, and many of these responsibilities that you would have at these kinds of jobs would be very similar to the responsibilities that you would have with a regular job in a paid position. So by having volunteer work on your application or in your resume, you're showing people that you're capable of working and completing your tasks. And there's something else that volunteer work tells future employers. It tells them that you're most likely a good person. You want to help people. And you've heard in these interviews on the podcast with managers of businesses that they want to hire people and they want employees that help their customers. And volunteer work is the perfect way to show that you like to help people. Now, maybe you want the work experience, but you also want a few bucks in your pocket. There's nothing wrong with that. So, yes, you'd probably prefer to be working in a store or, just a job in the community where you're getting paid by an employer. But for various reasons, that hasn't happened yet. That doesn't mean that you can't earn some money. Many of you earn money over the summers by maybe mowing lawns or working year-round as a babysitter or something like that. And we're coming up on winter, and winter brings snow usually. And so there's going to be a lot of people in your neighborhoods around town where you live that need their sidewalks and driveways cleaned. And this is a great opportunity to earn some money. Shoveling snow is really difficult for elderly people, and they would be happy to pay someone to take care of this for them. And if your family has a snow shovel, then you have all the materials that you need. But if your family doesn't have a snow shovel, you could go buy one, and within the first or second driveway and sidewalk, it will have paid for itself, and then everything past that would be profit. So you could go about this a few ways. If we get a decent snow, you could just walk around the neighborhood, knock on doors, and ask if you could shovel their driveway or their sidewalk. Or you could plan ahead. How about leaving flyers on the front doors of houses in your neighborhood? You could design a flyer and figure out what to put on it and everything, but that might be a little bit intimidating for you. So what I did was I went ahead and designed one that you can download from our website and print off of there. And all you need to do is put in your name and your phone number, and it's done. It's all worded for you. There's a little picture and everything. So if you don't have a printer at home, you don't have a way to print this, you could ask your teacher if you could print some off at school. And if that's a problem, you could contact me through our contact page at qcstep.com, or you could email me info@qcstep.com, and we can try to get some copies for you. The flyer says that pricing is fair, and there's no exact way to price every job. I would say that you could probably get the best results if you priced yourself somewhere between $10 and $20 per house, and that should work for you. If it's a huge driveway or something, you might want to be careful, especially if it's a real heavy snow, not to say that you'll do it and then realize it's way too big for you to do. And with leaving your phone number, you're going to want to make sure that you're home after a big snow so you can take the phone calls. And especially if the phone number that you give is not your cell phone number. If it's not your phone number and it's your home phone, you might want to make sure that there's a way for people to leave messages at your home, either an answering machine or someone else home to take messages, so that you don't miss any of these opportunities to make money. If you're interested in gaining work experience and maybe making some money, I hope this helps you out. If you use the flyers and they work for you, I'd like to hear about your experience. Again, if you have any questions about the flyer or anything that I talked about on this episode, feel free to contact me through the contact page at qcstep.com or email info@qcstep.com. And that does it for the 14th episode of the QC Step Podcast. You can like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter. And by doing that, I'll be able to get job leads to you over the winter break if that's something you're interested in. If there is a topic that you would like covered on the podcast or as a qcstep.com tip of the week, contact us through the website or through email. And if you're a teacher and you would like to do a tip of the week, please contact me. Enjoy your winter break and happy holidays. The QC Step Podcast will be on break 2. So the next episode will be out on January 15th. Thank you for listening and watching, and we will be back on January 15th with episode number 15 of the QC Step Podcast.